Okay, hello everyone. My name's Sugi Yamagawa, and I'm just a regular guy VTubing my slow life hobbies in my 30s. And today, we're around the campfire, and we're gonna make a recipe from this book, Project Fire. It's mostly themed around grilling recipes, but grilling's also something I can do here, which I now have just realized a terribly inconveniencing fact, but oh well, I can live with that. But we're going to be making the mango macadamia nut crisp. I am, prep time 20 minutes, grilling time 40 to 60. Ooh, this is going to be exciting. Oh boy, this is going to be terribly exciting. Well, let's crack a beer open and get into it. But yeah, sorry about the delay. It's just, I was having fun with friends, and I thought I did a reasonable amount of prep going into this, and yeah, this just took a fair bit of prep. It's just really what it comes down to. I kind of wish that camera was down a little bit lower. I mean, this is generally fine, I think, but so we have the main star of tonight's dish that we're gonna more beer and tree talk. Oh boy. Well, okay, so we've got good old Kirkland Lager, and also welcome in Dead Soul Chup. Not exactly sure how much tree talk I can incorporate into this. I mean, we are definitely these are themed around tree ingredients, mangoes and macadamia nuts. However, though, these are species that are not native to the eastern U.S., and I'm mostly familiar with eastern U.S. when it comes to trees and various like fun facts and information. And also, one of the reasons I was kind of delaying the start of things was because I was also looking up how to peel a mango, like how-tos. And I think I found a method that I feel reasonably optimistic with trying. So, and it is finding the center, coming off a little bit to the side, make a cut, turn it around, make another cut, and that cut should be able to go all the way through, and it did. Yay! Go back to the other side. Then in the kerf of that cut, make that one. And then in here, I should have, once you get Yamagawa greenhouse up and going, I'm sure you can grow. Oh man, I don't know if I'm going to get into greenhouse territory. Okay, so my knife's going to go through there. Actually, what's the best way to find the seed in this? Can I just do a split? That's the thing with stuff like this is like, I'm in uncharted waters with mangoes. Like, and if there's anything I learned in my life, it's if you learn a couple tricks with various things, it's usually not too bad. Yeah, I don't have tricks for this, so. And it's also weird because the seed doesn't really seem to stand out all that much. I feel like if I can get the hang of finding the seed and getting that out, this method won't be too terrible. Ooh. Seed's big and flat, it'll mock you. It's like sunflower seed shaped. I mean, that's just the thing. It's just I've never This is my first time I've worked with mango, so I'm very much I'm outside my element. And that's also kind of part of the reason why I do this, but I'm not gonna push myself to explore outside my element unless I, well, actively do so. And there's a seed in here somewhere. Oh, there it is, a little bit of it. And I got a little bit of mango. Man, okay. Well, mango's good. Which is good. Yeah. Not sure how much of this flesh I can get off. I'm trying to get the feeling I might be regretting my choice. And stream idea for today. Actually, I wonder. Well. Darn it, I didn't bring much of a waste basket. So I'm just gonna have to throw a pile. My auntie was from the Caribbean and would make mango salifers, which was cubed mango and black pepper. So yeah, that's my challenge for today, is to figure out how to cube this stuff, which I didn't get quite the amount of... I didn't get as much flesh on these peels as I would have liked, but I did. It said 6 to 5 mangoes for the recipe, and I bought 5. So I've got. So that's the thing that scares me, is I gotta do 5 of these. I don't have to. It's not like 1 or 2. It's like 5, and I'm like, ugh, I don't. I'm not particularly excited by the prospects of what I'm doing. As much as I like learning new things, there's certain times with, especially like tropical fruits, I'm not. On one hand, I'm not the biggest fan of tropical fruits. Like filleting fish, if you're far from the seed ribs the first time, it's hard to get the leftover. Yeah, because that's basically what I'm playing with right now, is like the stuff that was like close to the seed portion. Also, I have no experience dealing with fish, so I am just wretchedly much meat as possible and back up the slice. Much meat as possible and back up the slice. I don't know. I'm doing okay, I think. Hope everybody's doing well this afternoon. Thanks for stopping by, Captain Cocoa Puff. But yeah, right now I'm being real awkward just slicing and dicing mangoes. Because this is my first time slicing and dicing mangoes. Which I think is going okay. Maybe not going perfect, but that's fine. Supposedly, once I get to this part, it's easy. Ideally. I sincerely hope it's easy. Which, I just have to make, like, slices. That's the thing. The mango has made my hands super slippery. Yay, slippery hands and knives. Always a fun combination. Okay. There we go. So, hopefully, if I did this right... You know what? I call this reason. That's reasonable. Reasonables. Alright. Awkward guy's first attempt at cubing mango, and then I should just be able to peel these off. Yeah! Peel that mango off. There we go. Nice, cubey, chunky bits of mango. Go around to this side of the world. And there we go. Oh, reasonable, I would say. Granted, I really do not like how much of a mess that made of my hands. I really do not like how much of a mess that made of my hands. I'm so glad I stick to the fruits of my native area. Granted, I mean, speaking of fruits of my native area, persimmon can make a serious mess of your hands if you let it. If you let it. So, I'd say, doing reasonables. Really glad I took that little bit of extra time before stream to just be like, okay, internet, I haven't worked with this fruit. I know there's a big seed inside. Help me out here. Because I'm pretty sure this would have turned out a lot worse. Had I not consulted with those who were wiser, well, more experienced than I. So, that's the first mango's worth of fruit. Technically, I have 4 more of these guys to go through. I'm supposed to have 6 cups of mango. I don't think I'm going to get 6 cups. But I can live with that. Oh, and that seed. I might have hit the seed. Yeah, I did hit the seed a little bit. That's fine. That is fine. Okay. Ooh, actually, I like that. I like that. I like that. Let's make that cut. Can we make that cut happen? No, can't make that cut happen. There's still a little bit of seed holding onto that. But if I can get that separated, that's a pretty good little bit of chunk of flesh there, so. And if I can do something along this side, if I can do this in like threesies, I'll be happy. Ugh. Okay, well, if I come back further out. There we go. Wow, that seed's like huge. That seed is absolutely massive. It is definitely convincing me. I'm glad I don't work with mango on the reg. Right now, I'm pretty sure people who work with mango on the reg are looking at me and being like, man, this guy is not knowing what he's doing. Because I feel like this is one of those like processes where if you're like in the know with it, really know what you're doing. What I'm doing here is just probably downright laughable, but you know what? That's fun. I'm just a guy in his backyard having fun. That is all I'm here to do. Okay. Oh, that was actually genuinely stupid, actually, taking such a mango chunk that I meant for the bowl and throwing it on the pavement. Okay. Go. Another look. Yeah, big, flat, and pumpkin seed shape. Once you get practice, you'll get better. Oh, man. More reps. Now, granted, I do know reps is like how you get good, but also like, not gonna lie, after today I probably won't be playing with mango for a good long while. I'm just gonna have an awkward experience and just be like, you know what? I put myself out there and I gave it the good old college try. Which I feel like what I just did was a very skeevy play with my knife, but I felt like I had a lot of control. Which I'm okay doing skeevy things as long as I feel like I have like reasonably good control over like the knife and the fruit I'm cutting. Granted, I do like that you can actually like you can kind of press into the mango a little bit. But even if you do press in, it's not really like enough to actually go completely through. Some mango types are easier to cut too. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's a thing with like any fruit that's like hard to work with. I mean, granted, I'm sure there's people who look at pawpaws and are like, man, who thought it was a good idea to collect pawpaws? As for me, pawpaws are worth it. Now, there is a scenario where I try this recipe out, and what I end up with at the end of the day is just absolute fire. And I really should have prepared a spot to throw this. I didn't realize these scraps were... I didn't realize I was going to end up with this amount of scraps. And also I do like how the recipe was like, yeah, it only takes like 20 minutes of prep time, and it's like, I have to dice like 5 to 6 mangoes. Recipe? Help me out. Not helping me out here. Granted, I'd say this one's gonna go. What's probably gonna happen is I complain a lot for like all of them, but the last one is what I'm envisioning happening. It's like, okay. Granted, I mean, at least as far as like working with these parts of the mango, like these sides, like this mango just comes off super, really easy to work with. I mean, a little bit of elbow grease to it, but that's fine. I'm okay with that. It's okay if food takes a little bit of elbow grease. That's just gonna help the food taste better later. It takes a little bit of elbow grease. Squeeze off those last little triangles. Yes, I can. Most certainly I can. There we have it. It's a leather. But yeah, the amount of mango is actually really starting to perk up. Okay. So that's 2 done. Now we move on to number 3. Woo! Come on. Get yourself a nice little chunk of mango. Probably should be a little bit more slicey dicey with. Let's see here. Change where that is. I don't have that positioned appropriately. Slice there. And it's there. Oh. the only reason I care about trying to get as much. Oh, that's... That... Okay, I just realized something. I should really just grab the mango and do a few slices. That way I get a few more pieces of deliciousness. Like look at that nice piece of deliciousness. That's a good piece of deliciousness right there. Some of these are a bit thinner, but my utilization rate is now going to go through the dang roof. Okay, sweet. Okay. But yeah, say compared to some of the last seeds I played with, we're definitely going to be getting a lot better utilization around here. Yeah, I figured that's kind of what a lot of some of these like oddball fruits come down to, which, I mean, granted, I am also saying oddball because from my perspective as a resident of Eastern North America, this is an oddball fruit because it doesn't natively grow in my area. For those who the mango grows in their native area, probably are not too happy with my remarks. Calling it an oddball fruit, but then again, I'm sure a lot of those people also just look down on lefties, and that's like, okay, you know what, you want to look down on lefties, that's fine. That is more than fine. This lefty will look down on the fruit that's native to your region. And bloop. And that is the most unpleasant part taken care of. So, we're working on mango number 3, and you know what? We're also growing. They'll survive. They get to eat tasty mango. They get to eat tasty mango and so many other things. I mean, there's a lot of actually really tasty, like, tropical fruits. I just don't know how serious people take their food around here, you know? Because, you know, when you do, like, cooking stuff, you're gonna attract people who are a lot more interested in their food, and also, a lot of people will also tie up their, like, national identity in the food they consume. Because food is a huge cornerstone of culture, regardless of where you're from. Like, regardless of where you're from, where you live at this, regardless of your location on the rotation, like, the food that grows around where you live is really a big part of the culture. Like, here in the US, sometimes there's neighbors. Those neighbors will garden, and sometimes those neighbors will share the bountiful produce of their garden. And if that bountiful produce is tomatoes, corn, peppers, that is good neighbor. Then, if they share zucchini, it is, oh no, they don't know how to plan their garden out. I get mad at most cheese sticks I see. Oh man, the Philly cheesesteak, which is a thing I've never had. Which, who knows, that might have to hit the list at some point. Granted, if we got a cheesesteak enjoyer here, I might want to be careful with my choices there. Granted, I did use, for like one of the Gyudon streams, I used a store-bought pre-shredded beef. I really like working with that. Philly cheesesteak S tier. Woo! Okay. So, that's 3 mangoes in, and this is actually a pretty hefty bit of mango. Got a little bit of skin there. And try and keep my skin to a minimal, to the best of my extent. Okay. Mango number 4. Okay, didn't quite get so lucky on that. Oh, angle was bad. Yep, angle on that was bad. Not good angle. Okay, how do I want... I want to try an idea. Okay. Okay, so far so good. So far so good. So, let me put my finger... Let me do what they told me to not do in the Scouts, and that's put my fingers in the spot where I can cut them. Okay, so what I did is I traveled around to cut these sides off. Now, granted, I'm losing a decent bit of mango here, but once I am reduced to this brick, I can now take my knife and then just slice whatever cubes I want off of it. And compared to what I was doing earlier, I feel like this gives me a lot more control. Most of the times when I'm using my knife, it's going away from me. So plus the safety. And I'm also being able to cut a lot closer to the seed, because that's the seed there. And that helps me improve my mango utilization. Get a little bit more mango out of this. Not waste as much food, because I have the most terrible complex in the world about wasting food. To the point where I've even, at home, I've eaten semi-rotten food a few times. Just because I'm like, it's not, I don't think it's bad enough to kill me. So, definitely, some of the times, it's definitely had a smell to it. And I was like, maybe in a perfect world I wouldn't eat this, but you know what? I live in an imperfect world, and that means I get to make imperfect decisions. Yippee! Okay, there we go. I'm gonna leave this up. So, hook my finger on that. Get one more piece off this, one more piece off this. One more piece off this. There. Oh yeah. That's seed number 4. In Foxhole, the Colonial faction has a field marcher just named Seed. Every time I hear it, my neurons get activated. Oh no. That's how people found out fermentation can taste good. Yeah. Well, yeah. How people originally found beer was probably the most interesting happy accident in the history of mankind. Which, hey, that gave us the pyramids, man. Gave us the pyramids, and also in some ways, some people, depending on which historian you talk to, credits the creation of civilization thanks to the development of, thanks to beer coming on the scene. Because agriculture, especially in like ye early days, was a pain in the butt. It is a wretched pain in the butt. It gets better once you start like getting machines involved, but the initial development of agricultural society was brutal. Cheese is up there too. Yes. Glorious cheese. We are very pro cheese around here. Cheese is good stuff. Okay. Granted, I am going to be very personally glad to stop mangling mangoes. But hey, I just got one more after this, so. Come on, separate. Susan, thank you. Just separate. Ooh. Except God, it has to be fresh. Hey, Mr. Spock. Mr. Spock, welcome in. Hope you had a good weekend. Okay. Let's see here. Come on, can I have a good finish? Nope. The mango gods are displeased with me. I can fight the rest of this off. There's reasonable levels of effort, and then there's unreasonable levels of effort, and I'm not going to engage in unreasonable levels of effort today. This is supposed to be a chill Sunday evening stream. Wow. Fast car. I got way too many fast cars in my neighborhood. Granted, it feels like I'm going to have to be really careful with this. Because the Rhine is... Whoa. Oh, okay. Oh. That's interesting. We lost GoPro. Which, for you guys, I'm actually not going to make it much of a priority for a moment. Because I'm wondering why it did that. And also, there's a thing I need to do. And it makes it a little bit convenient if the camera's not rolling for me to do it. Okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and take care of the little business I wish to take care of. Because I was rushing a little bit before stream. Okay. Then I'm going to put that there. And now I go grab paper towels. Okay. Jump scare. Now, this could be bad. Because okay. Let me see here. I got a technique for this. That should help. Okay. And we're back. And I was able to take care of the things I wanted to take care of. Oh, you think the jump scare was good for you. For me, I'm working here, and then I just hear something like beeping like right next to my head. But that's actually the first time the GoPro has done a thermal overload on stream. So, first time for everything. Also, I will say I will be. Let's see. Yeah, I will be doing that. And by will be doing that, I mean once I finish slicing and dicing these mangoes, I'm going to throw on the BRB screen and I'm going to go wash my hands because my hands are horrendously sticky. Okay. So, the one half of this was really, really, really bad at holding on to the chunks of mango. So, I'm going to be getting really in here. I'm going to focus on the inner ones because I want to take it, kind of get like a little bit of force on the back. Granted, might just work it with, yeah, and also I also may have sliced the skin a little bit. Ah! And my pieces of mango went away. Womp womp. Okay. Get my fingernail there. Yep. It's slow work, but it's kind of yielding a consistent result, so I will take consistent result. But yeah, a lot of the equipment I use for streaming, it does not typically like heat. Now, granted, the GoPro's generally been fine. I mean, it's also now shaded from sun, and air temperatures are starting to go down because we're entering in more proper evening hours. So, fingers crossed, we should have no more jump scares. That's also kind of a reason why, when it first went out, I just... Maybe a spoon would... So, spoon is definitely a good method. But the thing is I'm trying to get lots of cubes for this recipe. So, I'm doing it this way. But yeah, I do think that's a very valid method. And of the methods I was looking up online, that was also amongst their suggestions. But this has been reasonable. So that's 4 mangoes sliced and diced right there. That chunk's a little bit big. So we're now down to our final mango, which is a thing I'm very thankful for. And also, holy smokes, my hands are sticky. Oy, oy. But hey, we're in the last. We are in the last run up. I'll do that. We'll keep it right in that. Whoop, 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 whoop. Perfect. But yeah, for this part of the process, I take my knife, try to get a nice inside cut just under that skin, and then I just work it around, but not get the skin in my bowl. Actually, I think I might have to live with because the earlier time I did that, I was a little dissatisfied with the amount of mango I had on the skin, but that also did keep the getting a little bit close to my fingers. Let's keep this a cut-free stream. Well, cut-free as far as I'm concerned. Well, cut-free to me. Mangoes have been taking lots of cuts today. Okay. Slit. Try to get in. Ooh. Hon! Huzzah! There we go. So with this blank slice, take my knife and do peels off of it, with the aim of slowly and steadily exposing the seed, which is the small bits of white you see here. I'm just trying to get like nice, good, kind of irregular shaped pieces. Okay. Other side now. There we go. There we go. Granted, I'm really happy I figured this method out. Because earlier I felt like I was wasting a little bit too much of the mango off this. Well, leaving a bit too much of the mango on the seed. Whereas with this, I feel like I'm getting a lot more. Good choice in background music. Yes! We like jazz around here. And if you're interested in looking up the artist is, it's actually a doujin circle called Jazzy Onion. There's a couple of uploads on YouTube, not a whole lot. Also, if you're familiar with Toho Project music, it's also Toho music. Okay, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with the amount of mango I got off that seed. So that goes to the pile. Now we got our 2 of these. And we can make some slits on them. I'll try and be a little bit more gentle here, so I don't destroy the rind as much. Okay. So if we just pop that out, should get this good separation of cubes. That's one of the issues that happens. Okay. You go off to the side. Goodness gracious. I apologize for spending this amount of time working on the mangoes. I was not anticipating this much time on the mangoes. Great, you know what? I can also just blame the recipe, because the recipe was like, hey, prep time's just 20 minutes. And this is not 20 minutes of mango. Well, it's actually more than 20 minutes of mango, but just the mango processing is like 20 minutes. Granted, I don't know if it assumes prepped ingredients or not. And the prep time is just a if you got everything lined out, being good to go. Okay. Go, and yeah, there we go, there we go. Reasonables. Okay. And we didn't even tear the final skin. Okay. My hands are an absolute wreck. So I'm going to throw the BRB screen. I'm going to Also hit the little homesteader's room, and I'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. So, got the mango done. Don't think I have the full 6 cups that the recipe calls for, but I think I'm fairly close. Fairly close on that. Now, here we go. Now for the next item from my goodie bag is lime. And this is our next ingredient to be prepped, because this is basically our second fruit to prep. So, for the lime, I need these goodies. So I need some zest, and I also need some, I'm going to use the knife eventually. But I do want to get some zest off this, so. Should I do something like this? I don't know if this is the same thing as grating cheese, but it feels like grating cheese. It feels like a similar type of process. It smells a lot better though. I'm not sure how much zest I need, so I'm just gonna work this until I have a pretty good amount of and then once I feel like I'm good with the amount of zest I have, I'm feeling a little unsure if all that mango is going to fit in there. I hope it fits in that skillet, because that skillet is the skillet I've prepared for today. Okay. So, that seems to me to be a reasonable amount of lime zest. Because really all the requirements from the recipe says is 1 whole lime. So, my next trick is to get this quartered up, or at least bare minimal quartered. I'm not sure if I can get quarters in my juicer or not. But we'll see. Yeah. So. Woo! Let's see. Then I'm going to do a second press. Get a little bit more of that lime out, that lime juice out. And then we're going to keep rinsing and repeating. So the good news is the lime's going to be one of our easier things to prep for this. Granted, I suppose that's like, it's like the thing with like desserts is like a lot of confectionaries can be very demanding in their prep work, which is why there's people who just do dessert type cooking, because making desserts is a lot of tedious effort, especially if you want to get like really good flavor, which I feel like I'm doing a really good job of getting plenty of lime flavor for today's meal. Crunch, fold it in, a nice good little squeeze. And there we go. One juiced lime. Okay, so those are going to go there. Knife and cutting board, I am done with thee. And now we are going to... Now I can actually... I've got my ingredients prepped enough to look at the recipe. Okay, so I do have a 10-inch cast iron skillet. 1-inch dice, you should have 6 cups. Place in a mixing bowl, mix in flour, lime zest, ginger, flavorful spoon the filling into prepared skillet, then make the topping. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and here we'll make the filling. So, here, you've got enough, yeah, you got enough weight to open the button. Cool. So I need a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Ooh, brown sugar. Here we go. So I'm actually using cane sugar for today simply because of the fact that cane sugar is something I have lying around. I don't also see myself using up my cane sugar for anything else. So there's roughly... Seems a little shy. We're making a confectionery. If it's a little bit on the sweet side, that's a good thing. So we'll add in our sugar. Sugar, flour's next. And how much flour? I need 3 tablespoons all-purpose flour. So, let me grab my flour here. Okay. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. we're gonna still need some flour. So flour. Now we do lime zest. So we'll throw our lime zest in there. And then after lime zest comes the lime juice. So that goes in there. And recipe calls for candy ginger. I don't have candy ginger on stock. I just have ginger paste. How much of the ginger paste do I need? 2 tablespoons. So I'm going to be just generous with my ginger because I don't get a whole lot of opportunities to use this ginger paste, and I want to make sure I get this used up before the end of the year. But I do think this is good. Since I am making Spooky Month very dessert themed, I feel very confident in being able to use everything up. And I should have a spoon for mixing. So we're just gonna give this a good, nice mix. So, I think we're reasonably mixed, but I'm going to give it a good smell. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, yeah, that smells great. Awesome. So, I'm going to take the filling, set it off to the side. So, that's the filling done. Now, we move into the components for our what's going to be our topping. So, we're going to have some macadamia nuts for that. We're going to have some coconut. Now, I do have a problem. I have a problem. My problem is, where's my knife? My other problem is, my local supermarket doesn't sell shredded coconut. It just sells flaked. So, flaked is what I have. But shredded coconut is a finer, material. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to be adding my flaked coconut to my food processor here. Because we need to bring this down into a slightly more reasonable. So, and because of how dang short the cord is on this, I ran an extension cord just so I could run this utensil. Okay, let's see here. Wait. Ooh. Uh-oh. I mean, that outlet should have power. Now, I also did not test this thing. Wait, what's that? Why does that look damaged? Ooh. Oh no. That's less than ideal. That is what I think it is. Because my pulse button is not pushing down. Like, I have just no mechanical activity in it. Oh, I do not like that. That's bad. That's really bad. Oh, Jiminy Crickets. I don't know when this thing happened, but this is also like the first time I've ever touched this thing in like who knows how long, but my button's not pressing. So that means I don't have a food processor. That means I don't have a food processor. I do not like that. Damn. Okay. So, I really don't want to do this, but since I'm kind of in a foobarred position, do I want to do that though? I'm thinking about. Not sure if I want to grab, because I have another food processor I could grab. It's just it has been like forever since I set it up. So, yeah, I was hoping that small thing would be that would have been great for my needs if it worked, but it didn't. So, I'm gonna throw the BRB screen on, and I'm gonna try and figure a way out of this mess. Okay, I'm back, and as you can see, I found my solution. In which case, the solution was, if I'm missing an electric motor, find an electric motor with a bit, and food processor. We're alive. We're not doomed. We will improvise and we will survive. Granted, there might be people questioning the soundness of my decision making, but that's reasonably fair. So I do think, actually, I want to take a look here at, I kind of just want to have a bit of a comparison here. So as you can see, our flaked coconut is a bit chunkier, whereas this is a little bit finer. It's definitely a lot more in a powdery form, which is what we want out of this. Now, oh, that's exciting. Okay, well, I'm going to be doing absolutely terrible things to this food processor, because, well, the show's got to go on. Okay, and 1 cup of macadamia nuts. So, out of here, how are you using the liquidy things? Wait, where did my dry cup go? I had a dry cup. I had a dry cup for measuring dry amounts of dry things. And I have missed, oh. Yeah, I can't see it past the, so, I wish to be reasonably cautious here, because I am now using a tool in a manner that it was not originally designed to be used in. And I think that needs a few more. There we go. So, that's our 1 cup of macadamia nuts. And we need to get these blended and cooked reasonably well. We'll do the cooking later, but for now we worry about the blend. So, we got whole macadamia nuts here. And with the power of Makita technology, I think that looks reasonably crumbly and good. Definitely a lot closer to bite size. Coarsely chopped the nuts. Okay. Short burst. Yep. Okay. Excellent. So I'm going to see if I can make the topping in this bowl. Yeah. There we go. That's actually reasonably coarse. I don't want to use you guys. I need a spoon for this. I need a dedicated spoon for the topping. Okay, well, one part of the food processor is dead, and I think the other one, I'm gonna see how much use I get out of it. Like this part with the Makita, and we'll see how much more life that has out of it. Okay, so I've got 2 of my ingredients in here. How much? I needed that. I need a 4th cup all-purpose flour. 1/4 cup. Okay, cup. Oop. A little bit less. There we go. 1/4 cup. All purpose. Well. Shouldn't. Yeah. I'll put the flour in there. Next ingredient is 1/4 cup brown sugar. Actually, cover those to keep it. Okay, 1/4 cup. Next, 1 teaspoon ground cinnamon. Cinnamon! Sweet, sweet cinnamon. Okay, 1 teaspoon of that. Which I actually bought these metal measuring sticks just a little while ago at a vendor's village, just for like the campfire streams. And then we want to add just a pinch of coarse sea salt. And I need ice cream. Not ice cream. Ice cream does come into play later, but I need, oh man, I need to actually mix that in the processor. Well, that's not happening. Gummy spoon the topping evenly over the fruit filling in the skillet. Okay. So I now need to play with butter now. I think I've got a game plan for the butter. What I'm gonna do here is we're gonna get this unwrapped to a reasonable extent, and I need cubes of butter. So what I'm gonna do, because I've tried cubing butter before, and it's been the most awkward experience ever. So instead, I'm just keeping it on the block, and I'm cutting it this way. I think this is the better way to do it. This also keeps my hands off the butter, which is a good thing. And then once I get a series of cuts like that, and I'll come over to the side, and then get, ideally, a nice little grid. I then just flick apart with my knife. I ideally flick apart with my knife, but apparently we're just going to have an awkward day today. That's fine. This calls for, I think, 8 ounces of butter. 8 tablespoons. 1 stick. I think I might do just a hair bit more of the butter. But for this, a hair bit more, I'm going to cut it like that, like that, and like that. So that's going to be butter. Done. Cool. Now, I have to get the skillet off, because I'm going to want that skillet to cool down. So, my next task is to give my mixture here the most thorough mixing I can give it. So, our mixture. Now, be reminded the recipe calls for this being done in the food processor, and that food processor was definitely way too small. And if I was paying a little bit more attention to the recipe, I would have definitely did a I definitely would have brought my larger food processor down. But I was just thinking I needed to shred the coconut and crush up the macadamia nuts. I wasn't thinking I was gonna have to do this whole mixture. Otherwise, I would have brought the other food processor down. But it is looking very coconutty, buttery, macadamian. It smells good. That actually smells like really good. And please ignore the spoon in the bowl, because that makes it look way too much like cereal. So, now, I get to bring the skillet into play, which I am going to be smart about this. And get my gloves on. Oh, snap. That's warm skillet. Yeah, very warm skillet. Which is fine. So, for our next step, I'm going to get a piece of butter. And... oh. I'm sorry, butter. I didn't know that skillet had that much heat in it. I tried to cool it down for you, but... okay, we've got a buttered bottom of the skillet. So we're going to go ahead and start adding our mango filling. So it's already doing a nice sure. Ooh, I don't want to bury that implement. That's going to be important later. Okay. So that's our filling in skillet. So I'm now going to do our topping. And then I'm just going to quickly and in broad strokes go around it, and then using what remainder I have left, fill in where I can, which, you know what? I was a little unsure the amount of material I was going to have, but I definitely did a pretty good job with what I had. So we now get to turn our attention to the fire now. And that is, I have to set this up for an indirect heat. I think an indirect... hey, no. I'm not supposed to lose you into the fire. Sure, you know what? We can live with that. Sort of. So, what I kind of want to do, we'll bring this in a little bit. So, we'll bring those in. That'll kind of create heat area. Actually, I should spread these out, really. That's the thing with indirect. Is you're just kind of using like the latent thermal energy to cook. Come up here, you. And there we go. And that is a grill greedy. Rescued. So, have a good area of coals and a nice even layer. So, I'm going to start off with my pan over here on this side of the world. Actually, nah, I think I'll just do it in the center. And And I think I'll treat this like the a lot like how I cook with the Dutch oven, where every so often I want to give it a turn. So place crisp in center of grate, away from the heat, cover grill, smoke roast until the topping is nice and browned and the filling is bubbling. 40 okay, so I actually probably want to be a little bit easier with my heat here. That's what I want to do. So we'll go a little bit easier on the heat. And yeah. Okay, so this is now going to do a nice, slow, crisp. Well, I mean, it is literally a mango macadamia nut crisp, so it's just going to do a nice, slow cook for a while. So we have a lot of time while that's happening. I genuinely did not realize that the prep was going to be this long. Did not intend for that. Granted, it's funny, you can see my field of destruction with the mangoes. But I need to. I can grab that? I can grab that. Good. I need the other side of this to grab a cord. Ah! Sorry. sorry. But I'm trying to grab something I need. And there we go. There we go. And let's see, where is the magic button on this thing? There you are. Hello, button. There we go. Okay. So, starting to get a little bit dark. Trying to get a little bit more light going. Woo! Oh my goodness gracious. Bada bang. The cornerstone. The cornerstone of joy of a good campfire cooking session is a beer. Also, I really should also make note of the time, which, give me a moment here. I am going to set up a timer. Let's see, we want, how about, okay, cool. So, we got a timer rolling for 40 minutes. And that's about how long I want this to cook for. Probably about every 10 minutes, I'll take the handle from one side, and I'll probably rotate it like a third, because I definitely have a lot more heat going in that direction than in this direction. And I may also wish to actually I'll leave that. I'll leave it. Because this is actually meant to cook on a grill. And with a grill, when you close the lid, the heat's inside. So how this is supposed to cook is you're basically sticking this in the middle of the box, but you're also trying to keep the heat away from it. So what I'm trying to do here today is I've got a lot of my heat happening over here, and I've got a little bit of heat happening over here. And hopefully that little bit of heat is enough to give that a good cook. And I mean, we already started because I preheated the skillet. I did a little bit too much of a preheat, but that's fine. Whew. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so I'm gonna sit back, stretch, and yeah, so stream got pushed back by a few minutes today because I got home at like 5:35, and that gave me like 25 minutes to set up for stream. Now I got all my ingredients set aside. I had the majority of my utensils set aside. I did a fair amount of prep work that would be reasonable for me to do prior to stream, because, you know, I want to have a good stream experience, you know. So, but even then, it was still like it was like crunch time feelings, getting ready for stream, and then it was like, okay, then it's like go live, and then it's like, oh boy, I'm in mango slicing fun, happy fun times. But it was a good experience, though. And that's generally how I view a lot of things I do here, even if in the moment I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is I find what I'm currently doing to be a little bit troublesome and a little bit too much work for my taste, but that's also how I grow my skills. So, hey, I feel like nowadays, if I were to go somewhere and be hanging out with some people and they're like, hey, Sugi, we need you to do some food prep. And it's like, okay, we want to make a mango salad. Here's some mangoes. Then I can go, okay, about what size do you want the mangoes to be? Then they can be like 1-inch cubed, whatever. Or it can slice, or it can cube one and be like, hey, how's this look? So, another feather in my hat. Oh, but I was kind of hoping to have some more R&R time this weekend, but the fact that my recipe gets to cook for the better part of an hour, well, this just means I get to just chill, hang back, and relax. So, and I'm gonna take my relaxing, which, who knows, maybe at some point I might try to get into other shenanigans, but I don't know if I'll get into other shenanigans. Yeah, I don't know about that. But yeah. Also, this morning, not only did I get my morning chores done, which stuff like sorting the recyclables, doing my laundry for the week. Hey now, don't be acting like that. Those sorts of fun things. I also did finish sawing the lumber for the apple crates. So that's a thing I've got. That's a thing like I can just mark off my to-do list. Is I have all the lumber sliced and diced up, which is great. So, but the next thing I get to do is I have to plane all of it. And for those who weren't around for that stream, well, the last apple crate making stream, I'm actually going to have to machine plane them, simply because my workbench isn't heavy enough to do hand planing work on. And my game plan is I would like to do that work. I would like to actually assemble the apple crates on stream on Thursday. That's ideal. That's ideal. I hope it happens. I want it to happen. But that's in ideal conditions that happens. So we'll see about that. Oy, oy. But and I've got to mow the yard, which I think I'll mow the yard tomorrow. Just because I want to stay on top of it just for the last couple of mowings, because I think... Let me check my weather, because I think I'm actually going to get a really nice cooldown on Monday. Well, after Monday, so yeah. Ooh, yes. Okay, so yeah, Monday's going to be the last day in the 80s, because today got up to 85, which is pretty warm. But once we get into next week and the week after that, these campfire streams are going to get a lot more comfy for me. So I am very much looking forward to doing more of these, because like like today generally hasn't been a bad day. Hasn't been a bad day at all. But I did have the first thermal overload event with the GoPro, but it did recover pretty quickly. So, and as you can see, this viewpoint is a little bit more top-down compared to some of my other campfire cooking streams, and that's because I messed with the arm on it, so I had it closer. This is also kind of what you don't get to see too much of my table. The focus is definitely a lot more on the fire. But that's also just another sign of the fact that it was rushed on prep for today. Otherwise, I would have spent more time messing with it, but I like to, if I can, put a fair amount of effort into preparing before streams, and that was not possible today. Especially considering the fact that there was people piling into the waiting room, and it was like, okay, Sugi, you got this. And I got it, and I like to say that reasonably worked out. Now, having a fun, busy day today, yeah, one thing, but I'm also thinking about getting a little bit busy with, don't stress it, everything looks Gucci. It's, if I have the time to fine-tune everything, I would like to fine-tune it, because I think that's one of the big reasons why my camera had a thermal overload, which because it's technically a little bit closer to the fire than it would be normally. Normally it would be a little bit further back, but I wasn't fussing with it. But I like to put as much effort into what I'm doing here as I deem reasonable, and then put that amount of effort in, and then execute, and what happens is what happens, and you know what? That's what beer's for. Cheers. Ooh. But yeah. So that's kind of like how today's sort of went. Yesterday wasn't actually like busy. It was just I spent the better part of my day yesterday at my sister's, hanging out with her, the niece, the nephew, the brother-in-law, all those wonderful peoples. And yeah, and spending all my time with her yesterday meant I didn't have a lot of time here to do things, so got a little backed up around here, so is what is. Now, I haven't posted a schedule for next week, but I am planning to be somewhat ambitious with it. And by ambitious, I mean do 3 streams. Because the big thing that happens next week for me is campfire cooking with my absurd skill in another world is getting its 2nd season, and that's in the first episode of the 2nd season drops on Tuesday. And I'm thinking about doing another campfire cooking stream that day. And now, granted, the recipe I want to do, I technically have done before. And that is the Wyvern stew, which I will not be using Wyvern meat because, well, if I was cooking with mythical ingredients, I might be getting in trouble with my government and the FDA. Oh dear. I don't want to imagine that. Oh gosh, way too many implications of that thought train. But the first time I did that, we got a really good seasonal lineup coming up. I'm fucking stoked. Nice. I mean, so the only thing I've seen out of the new season is suddenly a last boss appeared. And so far, I'm really liking that show. Granted, Silent Witch is also continuing into this season, so I'm definitely continuing to watch that. And there's a lot of other things I've kind of been looking at. Like there's the one where it's like a noble's daughter, but all she wants to eat are monsters. I'm kind of interested. I'm interested in that show, but there's also a thing is like I've been busy, so I haven't had time to like really like sit down and like look through everything that's coming out. And but it's just also kind of sad that I only have a Crunchyroll account, and some other really good shows are on other things. Granted, if High Dive gets anything like really good, I'll get a High Dive subscription for the season. So, but I haven't really looked at the lineup really closely just yet. Hopefully, well, let's see here. Hopefully Saturday next week. Next weekend I'll have a little bit of time. That's probably when I'll have a little bit of time. Wait, speaking of time, we're talking about time. And that's my timer. We've had 15 minutes on this guy. Since we've had a good 15 minutes on this. Give that a nice turn. Help the heat be a little bit. Oh wait, One Punch Man Season 3. Ooh. Oh yeah! My Hero Academia final season. Yeah. I watched the first episode of that. And then Spy X Family Season 3. So I actually dropped Spy X Family, I think, at some point in Season 1. Just because Spy X Family just, like, it's one of those shows where it's good, but the pacing is just slow enough for me to lose interest. And then Alma-chan wants to be a family, and may I ask for one final thing? Okay, so I'll keep an eye out for those things. I know Alma-chan wants to be a family. That's on Crunchyroll. And then there's Chainsaw Movie, which I do want to. Which that would actually be something real fun to watch. Is the Chainsaw Movie. Ooh! I just pulled a rock out of my glove. Eh. Okay, things to look forward to. And also, I have geese in my airspace. I have to make sure they not land. Because I've dealt with a lot of things trying to do what I do here. But I'm sorry. If Canadian geese show up, it's going to be like, Chet, I'm sorry, but today's the day I die. Nature has saw fit to end me. Via the pathway that is the Canadian goose. Such violent creatures. I got Jet for a bit. If I don't catch you before I end the stream, have a good one, and I'll catch you next week. Okay, cool. Have a good rest of your week, Captain Cocoa Puff, and hopefully I'll see you around. I mean, I'm definitely going to be streaming for a while. Let's see. Yeah. I've got at least 25 minutes left on that cooking, and then there's going to be plating and all that stuff. So I imagine I'm probably going to be alive for like the next, like, close to next hour. I don't know if I'm going to... yeah, I mean, I could reasonably do the next hour, depending. It also depends on how long I want that to cook. Which, I gotta say, that might have a little bit too much heat going for it. Might get it a little bit further away from that fire, just so it's a little bit more cooled down. Granted, I do like the fact that the heat seems to be sufficient, but not overwhelming. That's always like good. That's always a really good position to be in, because with cooking over a fire, that's like good temperature control is like the hardest thing in the world. Which I need to think about. Because I think at one of these points I really do need to ooh, goodness gracious. Because I need to make another work surface for when I do these streams. Because right now, when I do these streams, I do have the bench that you can kind of see the corner of right here. About a little bit more than half of this bench holds my monitor, keyboard, various streaming equipment, and then it's like recipes, utensils, miscellanea. Which is real nice because it actually has a bottom shelf, and that bottom shelf gives me a little bit of extra storage room here, which I do appreciate that. But for anyone who wants to get into this, just understand that it's like being in an actual kitchen. There is no such thing as enough working surfaces, and it's even worse because you're streaming and you have to have all your streaming equipment. But I want to have a I'm thinking at some point I'll make another workbench, another like stand or something for this other side, because this is usually where I park the better part of my ingredients. I park my cooler. I keep my firewood here. Sometimes I'll keep my firewood a little bit further closer into this bottom corner of the screen if I'm doing the Dutch oven work, because as you can see, this little area right here is where I prefer to do my Dutch oven work, because it's close enough for me to like work with, but it's the ideal distance between being far away but also close. It hits that sweet spot between those two things. And oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So probably in the next like 10 minutes or so, there's going to be a moon coming up above the tree line. So that's the thing I'm looking forward to. And considering the fact, anytime I mention time, I should check my timer. I'm down to 20 minutes. Okay, so I'd say at 8 o'clock, I'll give that a turn. Because before the handle was here, so by moving the handle over there, took the part that was getting a lot of heat and kind of tried to even out the heat. And with that, my Sam Adams Oktoberfest is dunsies. It is dunsies. Time for next one, but I always get my beers with a little bit of water, because the best way to not have a terrible morning tomorrow is to have some water. Well, always to have a little bit of water with your beer. It's definitely the best way to drink beer, because then you don't get hangovers, or if you do get a hangover, it's not like as bad of a hangover. here, right here, is my English Golden Ale. This is actually the English Golden Ale I brewed on stream. And I am being very aggressive with my pour, and I should stop doing that. Oh god. Well, I hope there's no beer snobs in chat. I hope there's no beer snobs in chat. Not with that amount of head. I've seen worse. I've done worse. Actually, I have a question for myself, and when's the last brewing? Okay, last brewing stream was the Pale Ale with homegrown hops. That was 3 weeks ago. When did I brew the English Golden Ale? 2 months ago. Okay. Okay, wait. I need totals. Here. So I did 2 brewing streams. I did the Oktoberfest. I want to say I did another one this year. Oh yeah, there it is. Campfire cooking, making stew with venison. That's what I'm planning to do. But I'm going to be doing beef with it. She'll start some seeds. Mabo tofu. Ooh, that was a real fun stream. Oh, the cart for the campfire cooking set. Oh gosh, I'm going down memory lane. Oh wait. And then that's B-Day stream. What? Okay, so. Wow, yeah, I really did not do a lot of brewing streams this year. I was thinking, okay, so the Oktoberfest one was my first one. Okay, that's good to know. Good to know. Good to know. Because generally speaking, I like to do my brewing streams. I don't like doing them super often. Because generally speaking, it's generally speaking the same process, but there is some variability with like the recipes, but it's still like 4 hours of me yapping in my garage making a beer. So I only tried to do, I would say ideally only 4 to 5 brewing streams, and I'm at 3 for the year. So, and we're into October, so I have plenty of time to plan another one. Which also, wait a second, I need to now have another thought looking through the log. Well, through the record of YouTube, because at some point I want to do a Stardew Valley stream, because oh, fun. Okay, so it has actually been, wait, was it? No, it's not 15, it was 12, yes. It's been 12 streams ago, okay. So, 12 streams ago was the last time I did Stardew Valley stream, so definitely getting to the point where I'm due for one, but back in August, it was stupid hot outside. Stupid hot. Granted, I think there was like one weekend where we got a really like solid taste of fall. And I did a campfire cooking stream, and that was the vegetarian panella. Really like that. That's definitely a recipe I would make again. And also, the moon's out. You can't see the moon. Ooh, wow. That is a very full looking moon, too. Neat. I actually have a old telescope laying around, and if there was some way I could hook up just like set my webcam into the telescope and we could do like a little bit of stargazing, I would totally be down for doing a stargazing stream. I think I have a little. I think I have the problem of I live in a little too much city for a good proper star looking at stream. But that is a thing I really like to do around the fire pit. Is just like look up, look at the stars. I don't think I have the app on my phone right now, but I had an app called Sky Map, and it was fun to just be like laying around fire pit, having the brewskis. I actually didn't do a whole lot of campfire cooking until I started doing these streams, but I'd just be out here chilling. And then I'll see like bright spots in the sky, and then I'll be like, huh, I wonder what that bright spot is. And then judging by the brightness of it, it'd be like, well, okay, is that bright enough to be Venus? Or is that Mars or Mercury or whatever? Which I have a clear night, but unfortunately, the light's on in the garage, and I have a ring light in my face, so not a lot of room for light. Scratch that. Not the best conditions for stargazing. That's the answer. That is the answer there. It's just not good conditions for stargazing. Granted, what I really should, well, if I get some reasonable amount of time, well, a little bit of like breathing room in my life, I need to get my OBS set up on my laptop, and what I'm hoping to do is have my laptop be a little bit more portable of a streaming setup than what I have now, because today is happening thanks to the wonders of very long cables. And, well, not necessarily very long. Like, actually, like the HDMI cable's like 15. Well, no, the HDMI cable's too long. It's probably 20 feet. But my USB cables are like 15 feet. Because where I'm sitting, behind me is the garage, and that's where the garage starts. And there's only been one stream I've done where I have moved my computer to do the stream, and that was in the spring when I did my grapevine pruning stream. And that's actually one of the big reasons why I bought this laptop that I bought, and I'm wanting to use it as essentially a portable streaming setup, is the game plan. Because what's the calendar say? I need to look at my calendar. So I think, yeah, because October 10th through the 15th, where I live, is officially Tree Week. And I would like to do something tree related during that time, but I don't think I'll be able to do something tree related during that time. Because I'm on the hook for one dessert recipe per week for the month of October, which I've got 4 planned. We're doing this, then next Sunday is actually going to be a dessert stream, but that will be a morning stream. It won't be an evening stream. And yeah, and I will just have like, yeah, okay. I've got 4, because because I lined out 4 recipes for this month, and I've got 4 weeks to put recipes into. It's just next week is going to have 2 Campfire cooking streams, so hopefully people like the Campfire cooking streams. I mean, I like doing these. I like doing these because they're, on one hand, they're a fair amount of work on setup, but once I get like a good flow going, they're really fun to do, and then I get food at the end. It's really fun stuff to do. Okay. So, there was a guy in the car off in the distance doing a lot of engine revving. But yeah. So, I have 6 minutes left on this being about 45 minutes cooking. So, I'm going to do a check then. We'll see what it's like. And if it's good, I'm going to take it off the heat, and then I'm going to throw the BRB screen on. I'm going to do some stuff, and then I'll get because I'm supposed to serve this with ice cream. And if there's something you must know about me as an individual, it is I like ice cream. So, another reason why I was looking forward to doing this is I like ice cream. So, and I've got some, and I also picked up some like good vanilla bean ice cream. So I'm looking forward to having a fun, nice, new thing to try, paired with ice cream that I know I'm gonna enjoy. That's the eventual I look forward. Oh, goodness gracious! That is like violently bright. That is as bad as like Discord in light mode. Okay, well, I'm sorry for the sudden light jump scare, but I had... So, this is my security light. And it just seems to randomly activate whenever I do these streams. Like, it's perfectly random. Now, the way the motion sensing works on these is they actually pick up like heat signatures, like from people. Raccoons pop these off, which I don't. If I leave these mangoes out, I'm gonna have raccoons in this. Like there's gonna be a raccoon who's gonna get into this and be like, goodness gracious, I am living my best life right now. Which, admittedly, I'm pretty okay if a raccoon gets into that. It's like, whatever. Whatever. You know what? I'm feeling adventurous. Because we don't have a lot of time left on the cook, so... yeah. Let's see here. I'm going to try and pop you out as gently as I can. Because I know I kind of wedged you in there. So, first thing I want to yap about is slow uplift. I gotta be very careful here, actually. Okay, that's reasonably careful. Ooh, kind of dangerous, but yeah. There is the garage garden. It's doing really good. The tomatoes are taking off pretty well. You can kind of see them. I've got a couple of them on tomato cages. And as you can see, they are surrounded by a bountiful bounty of lettuce. But yeah, just wanted to point that out. And I lost tracking because oh wait, there we go. I lost my tracking because I actually had the camera arm. Well, the mounting arm? Mounting arm. Yeah, I think mounting arm's a reasonable way to say that. But yeah, I had the mounting arm in my way. Sure. Okay, so we got 2 minutes left. Well, less than 2 minutes, but pretty close, which... Yeah. Like, I'm not the best yapper in the world, so whenever my recipe tells me, hey buddy, yeah, you just get to monitor a pan for like the better part of an hour, I just kind of mentally sigh. But I will say, here recently, I feel like I've been doing pretty well, at least as far as from my perspective. Like my perspective to be live, do stuff on stream, those types of fun things. I've been very happy with my performance, me reflecting on my performance. Goodness gracious, like, let's see here. Last stream I did the part 2 of the apple crate build. It was really hard to go to sleep that night. It was genuinely difficult to go to sleep that night just because of like how much of a high I was riding after that stream. Like your handle. Well, it's good to know that people like. Oh, hi timer. Stop. Well, it's good to know that people like me when I'm being my most awkward. Sorry, Dad's old shop. I know you're a lover of the hand tools, but at the end of the day, I definitely like my power tools, and that's the thing with the floodlight. It goes on, it goes off, and it does so randomly. But yeah, I also really like the aesthetic of like the fire flaming up, and you get a nice like outline of the skillet. So my timer just went off, and my thing is, I have no problem with hand tools. It's just I am very much I want to use the best tool for the job. I'm a little concerned about that. Oh my gosh, this is heavy. And I hear sizzling coming out of it, so that's a really good sign. Okay. And I'm sorry, but I won't not be able to complete that thought because I want to give a check on this, so. Big reveal. Wow! There's a lot of water. Okay, I don't have quite the golden brown crust. Back to the land of cookery with you. And since my handle was facing the left, I'm gonna move it over to the right. Granted, I take it you were not here earlier, Dad's old shop. You probably did not see the shenanigans I did with it. So, unfortunately today, well, probably unfortunately from your perspective, is my faith in power tools has been reconferred. because my Makita impact drill bailed me, and now we're back in light mode. By the way, this is random. I have no control over it. Well, so there's settings on the thing I can control, and I can control the settings, and I can control whether or not I have power to it. I generally just leave power on because, well, hey, it's my motion light. If it goes off, generally speaking, what that means is that a cat went by or a raccoon went by. And if there was a nefarious individual trying to approach my home, well, they should probably look at the ominous aura emanating from it and realize that they are making a mistake. Granted, I am not going to cook this for super much longer. So, with that being said, I'm willing to turn up the heat a little bit. Yoink! But there we go. Getting a nice good... I might have actually had the heat a little bit on the low side. So, we'll see how turning up the heat for a little while does this. But I definitely did not have a golden brown crust that I would have liked. So, I'm going to move... So I moved some coals, got a little bit more coal action, added a piece of wood. So I will let this cook for some manner of time. No longer than 20 minutes, but no shorter than 10. Past that, I don't know. Granted, I didn't notice it producing a lot of steam earlier, so I'm not sure if it should have made steam. I don't know, because the recipe calls for this being cooked in a grill. And I'm not cooking it in the grill. I'm cooking it over a campfire. So, I think I might actually end up with this being just a hair bit undercooked, but a hair bit undercooked is better than being a hair bit overcooked. Woo! Smoky. Granted, I can't say that about today, is smoke has not afflicted me as badly as it has on some other days. Some other days it's been a whole boy. I don't like what the smoke's doing to me. But today it hasn't been too bad. It has not been too bad. So I should... And there we go. I've got another timer set up for 10 minutes. So I think we've been letting this cook for about, say, 8 minutes, roughly. Whatever, so far. So we'll let it cook for 10 minutes past that. And we should have a nice golden brown crust to that. And also, hopefully this light will still be on. So that way you guys can see it. And if I lose our light mode, then I'll get the Coleman lantern out, and we'll have light for the reveal at the end. But I am seeing a nice, good, steady stream of steam, so It is certainly cooking a lot better now than it was earlier. And when I opened it, I definitely had a good amount of liquid still left in it. So, should turn out pretty good. I'm optimistic. I'm very optimistic. Because, barring anything else, what can you do, you know? But in sort of adjacent related news for the channel is somebody, me, this guy right here. I spent too much money on Amazon last night. And what I spent money on Amazon last night was buying a fruit press and a grinder for cider making. So, for those who can't read the writing on the apple crates, I'm planning to I'm basically planning to finish the apple crate build on Thursday, and then that next upcoming Saturday, I'll go to a local orchard and hopefully pick enough apples to fill them, and come back and be like, so, okay, guys, we're making cider. Which, that's not gonna be a stream that happens soonish. Fruit press, a cast iron juicer, like the glasses thing. Okay, so it's not a cast iron juicer. Jordan, that's his name. Okay. So I bought the generic fruit press you can get on Amazon. But it's like a nearly 5-gallon one because I want a decent size one. Because I want to at least make 2 batches of cider. Maybe 2 batches, I don't know. I actually did see like an old cast iron fruit press from like the 1800s. And it looked like it had most of the parts except for the wooden blocks, but it was in Chicago. And I was like, I'm not going to Chicago to buy a fruit press that I need to put work into. Ooh, press everything afterwards? Yeah. One of the reasons why I actually went ahead and pulled the trigger on the purchase, because, well, it's $100+ thing. Like, I don't buy $100+ thing if I'm going to use it one time a year. No. But for next year's blackberry wine, I can press the blackberries for that. And I'm also tempted to consider the ideas of pressing other fruit as well. So there's a thing called the peach truck, and it's a truck loaded with peaches from Georgia, which, by the way, Georgia doesn't make a lot of peaches. It just doesn't. But it starts in Georgia, and then it basically like goes up through the states. And I've been kind of tempted to visit the peach truck, but the thing is when you buy peaches from the peach truck, you're buying by the bushel, and that's a lot of peaches. But what if some crazy VTuber wants to make peach wine? So you can press our menu. I'm just an individual who has an enthusiasm for preserving agricultural products by turning them into alcohol. Oh, the banana mobile? Oh, neat. I've just heard of the peach truck. And like I heard of the peach truck from like some people I volunteer with, because they will actually visit the peach truck when it comes into town, and they'll buy a whole bunch of peaches, and I think they'll make yo peaches. My wife loves it. Oh gosh. And there's also like peach preserves and like canned peaches, which I do like a good can of peaches. Like Kroger actually has canned peaches and pear juice. I love that stuff. The canned peaches and pear juice, fire. I love it. It's good stuff. Granted, I just also like the idea. Here's the thing. Banana Mobile goes to colleges and gives out bananas and banana-related free t-shirts. Wow. That wasn't a thing in my day. Not in my day. Or at least not the colleges I went to. Where did I put the rest of the parts of that? Oh yeah. So since you're here, Dad's old shop, which I don't think you were here earlier. This was my food processor that I was meant to process food with. The button doesn't work. Button doesn't work. Food processor doesn't work. And what that relates to is my undying faith in Makita products. Because I was looking at the bottom of this, and I was seeing the little like wedge, and I was like, huh. Oh wait, I should lock that. Let's lock that. Let's lock this before we do this. So this was my food processor for tonight's stream. Why no work? Why no process? The button wouldn't push down. I don't know why, but I made the food processor happen. And this is why I like power tools. If I need a portable electric motor, here is a portable electric motor. It got the job done. Now, granted, the main body of that is definitely getting thrown away after tonight's stream. Well, I was thinking pulse with power. And I mean, this was... And I also needed a quick solution, so... This was my quick solution in my trying times. Was go grab the Makita and be like, okay, hook you up, spin, okay. I can make my macadamia nut smaller and I can turn my flaked coconut to shredded. Oh, hi, timer. Okay, that's some timer. Let me grab gloves of protection. Because I'm ready to take a look at this. And I've also noticed this is... Oh my god. Holy smokes, why does this thing feel like it keeps getting heavier? I hope that just means you're concentrating deliciousness. Okay. So, this has been cooking for nearly an hour. Let's see what we got. Hopefully I have a nice golden brown crust. Ooh! That is a lot more liquidy than I anticipated, and I have to set down the hot thing somewhere. But yeah. But yeah, there we go. I don't think that's really that much of a golden brown crust. And I think I may have definitely undercooked this. But it smells good. It smells really good. Now, I was kind of wanting this to chill before I serve, but I think you know what? There's a solution here. There's a solution that is absolutely full of danger. Ooh, yeah. Oh, I was thinking I would have access to that, and I made it. Wait, I had a second one of those. Where did I put the second one of those? Oh, I'm just doing that to myself. Okay. So I got a spoon. Just try a little bit of this. Just try nice little bit. Just simply because this stuff is going to be just very, very, very warm. Weed burner. Oh man. Now, this was the spoon I used for the topping. So I got a lot of topping stuff on this. And I like the suggestion of using the weed burner to get a nice crisp top. But you know what? That's pretty good. I don't think this is going to necessarily be like really good top tier stuff. Granted, I do have a recipe coming up later in Desserttober. That's going to be really good. Really looking forward to that one. But I've been having this cook for an hour, and I feel like that is more than enough time. So now I'm going to yeet. Oh, come on. Hey, you. Looks like a cobbler. Cobblers look like cobblers. If they taste like cobblers, even better. Oh no. I'm locked. I'm unlocked. I mean, supposedly this is supposed to be a crisp, but I feel like you're right. It looks like cobbler. Now, I haven't had a lot of cobbler, so I can't really compare it to cobbler. But I think this is going to be some good stuff. I think it's meant to cook down more. But judging by my edge, I definitely have a little bit of browning. So I'm not too worried about the level of cook. At least as far as like it not killing me sort of levels of cook. So now this is a bunch of rambling for before I do the final plate up of this. I need to do some things. First and foremost, and the most important thing in the world, some guy has got to use the little homesteader's room. And second of all, I gotta go grab my ice cream. So I'm going to go to the little homesteader's room. I'm gonna go grab some ice cream, and I'll be right back. And we're back. So, before I actually start divvying this up, actually, let's see here. And, ooh, this is challenging. I'm making a big ask of my ability to handle food processes. But yeah. But I had to grab a couple of screenshots because I wanted to redo the thumbnail. Good thumbnails are a matter of life and death on this platform called YouTube. Come here. Plates. Good old plate coon. There's a plate coon. And hold up by a fork. I want to have a fork. I want to have a spoon. So, thank you, sir, for your service in holding open my book. Now I close my book. So, now we get to see what we get. I'm hoping for good stuff. Hoping for good stuff. Ooh. So, wow, that mango just... So the mango's stuck to the spatula, but nothing is sticking to the cast iron skillet. Absolutely nothing. We definitely have some browning there, well, some black stuff, but the fact that nothing is sticking to the skillet, really good sign. Really good sign. I love it. Okay. Come on. Let's get a few more of you. You look very delicious. And can I make you look very delicious over there? Yes. Yes, I can. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And What do I want to do? I want to clean this off, get it reasonably cleaned off, because we are now settling into the plate up and yap a bit. And then, actually I should keep that off. I was thinking about putting the lid back on, but nah, I want to have like, I want to have a little bit of ambient switch. Speaking of ambience. There we go. There we go. Get a little bit more focus on this part of the world rather than that part of the world. That's a cool part of the world. I like that part of the world. But this, I'm really into this right now. So. Yeah. So, I'm thinking we'll take a little bit of a bite here. See what we get. Might be a little bit warm. Oh! Okay. That's warm. Mmm. Wow. Okay. Well. To validate you, Dad's old chop. That tastes like cobbler. Man. Oh, yeah. So, definitely lots of mango flavor, which is good. The lime juice and lime zest were really good additions. Really good additions. Love them. The macadamia nuts add a good crunch. The shaved coconut. A little bit of texture. But that little bit of texture is probably a little bit too much because I was using flake and not actual proper shredded. But I was using an improvised shredder with a Makita drill, so there's that. But I mean, now, not to commit a top 10 anime betrayal, I'm not the biggest fan of cobbler, so I like this food. I am going to eat this food. This is really good food. This is also quite a bit of food. But yeah, I'm probably not going to cook this again. I'm not going to cook this again. I'm not necessarily a cobbler guy, which I know that probably upsets some people out there. But this is a solid A+. Like, saying it's not bad, but I don't think it's great. Yeah. Like, the flavors have a lot of good melding to them. Now, at this point, I can definitely taste the fact that because I use standard cane sugar. Recipe calls for brown sugar. Brown sugar would make this better. Because with the molasses, it would have been really good. Whoa. Okay. Well, I just had a plume of smoke go up my nose, and that was certainly an experience that would pay you. I don't want to repeat that experience. And there are things I can do to not repeat that experience. And if I can get that one log. There we go. That should put a little bit more distance. If the smoke wouldn't just keep going in my general direction. So, I gotta say, pretty good stuff. I definitely did not overcook it. Everything. This is probably one of the few things I've cooked in my cast iron skillet that just cleanly peeled away from the skillet. Like, I am genuinely impressed with how clean this pulled away from the skillet. Really not sticking to the skillet whatsoever, which is great, because that means it's going to be really... Because what I'm hoping to do is cut this up into, like, fours. This is going to be tonight's food, and then I'm going to have 3 servings for later, is the game plan. So, pretty happy with it. Really genuinely happy with it. Like, this isn't anything, like, groundbreaking or, like, new to me as a person. But hey, you know what? This is a perfectly fine dessert. Like, at the end of the day, that's what it is. It is a perfectly fine dessert. Is what I have right here. So, now's the time where I add a time limit to my time here. And that's where I bust out the ice cream, because this recipe calls for ice cream. Well, it calls to be served with ice cream. And boy, oh boy, do I like having excuses to have ice cream. So, let me grab my scoop. Oh boy. So, let's see here. Do I want 3? I think 3 is good. 3 is a good number. 3 is a good number of scoops of ice cream. Yeah, there we go. Opens up the mango cobbler route. I don't know if I'm going to become a cobbler guy. This is definitely not my preferred means for enjoying fruit. There's a lot of wonderful ways to enjoy fruit. I just don't think cobbler's for me. Granted, I'm just generally not a fan of cooked fruit, but oh wow, my plate's hot from the crisp cobbler. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna have some of my ice cream first. Love, absolutely love. I love vanilla ice cream. So, for my next bite, I'm gonna have a little bit of ice cream and a little bit of my mango. That's a double thumbs up. 10 for Texas size 10 for a good buddy. All of the above. Wowzers, that's good. Man, that's some good stuff. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh. Well, I am a happy camper tonight. It was a little bit of a rush play-by-play, but this turned out like really good. Really good. Ultra happy with it. Would I go out of my way to make this again? The answer is no, unless someone asks for it, or if I know this will blow their brains out. So, as far as for my own personal enjoyment, this is probably going to be the only time I make this. But I am by no means disappointed with what I made. It's just, this uses coconut and macadamia nut, and now's probably not a good time to find out that I'm just not a particularly big. I'm just not big on these things. Like coconut's fine, macadamia nut's fine. Like, I don't. It's tasty, but it's not like. It's not vanilla bean ice cream tasty though. And vanilla bean ice cream is like easy. I don't have to spend. I don't have to spend a better part of an hour dicing mangoes and then doing all this other work, you know? So I am very happy. It's the fruit for me. I love the taste of fruit, but I don't really like most textures. Ah, okay. So for the thing is I mean, I like fruit, but I'm just not the biggest fan of fruit cooked. In which case, this is fruit cooked. Which, I mean, texture-wise, it's a solid fine. I don't have anything particularly. It's not anything particularly amazing. Now, I probably should have done this in my Dutch oven, because if I did it in my Dutch oven, I could have put coals on the top, and I would have had a more crispy crust to it. Probably would have been. I probably could have made it just a hair bit better. So, versus what I did tonight, if I used proper brown sugar and cooked it in a Dutch oven, would be the two things I would do to level up what I've done. Otherwise, I mean, what I have right now, it's great. Tastes good. I'm happy with it. It's just I've never been the biggest fan of cooked fruit. I love cooked fruit. Cobblers taste like grandma's desserts on with pineapple and upside down cake. Oh no. Oh no. I'm a very lonely VTuber right now, because for me, fruit is typically best consumed fresh, ideally, and then past that, it's canned. Because I mean, I'll be honest, I love canned peaches. Canned peaches are great. It's just I never really turned it into much of a cobbler guy. Now, I know we've made peach cobbler a couple of times at some of my family camping trips in a Dutch oven, but someone's not a fan of cooked fruit and never tried any of that, so I am a weirdo. I've just never been on the cooked fruit train, but I mean, I'm happy with what I got. Citrus is the only fruit I feel is nearly mandatory to eat raw. Key lime pie notwithstanding. Oh man, Dad's Old Shop. I gotta tell you, there was a local brewery near me that made a key lime pie beer. In order to bring the taste of the crust into the beer, they used graham crackers. That beer tasted exactly like a key lime pie. And it was one of those things of, you drink the beer and it's like, how dare you describe it? How dare you attempt such a monstrosity and succeed? It was my opinion on it. But yeah, it tasted straight up like a key lime pie. It was just like sip beer, and it was like, okay, there's the lime. Yep, that tastes like pie. And then on the after note, it tastes like the graham cracker would hit you as like the crust, and it's like you're holding the beer and you're like, you liquefied the key lime pie and turned it into beer. Like, this is weird, and good job on you guys for like for even thinking attempting a monstrosity like this was a good idea. Now, regrettably, said brewery is supposed alchemy is real. Oh man, don't get me excited. Because that's some alchemy I play with, so I don't know how confident I can turn this into beer, but I can definitely turn some things into beer, and I've wanted to be adventurous, and thing is, with being a content creator, there's certainly plenty of motivation to be adventurous. Which, honestly, I've yapped too much. I need ice cream. You're right, Fire. I need more ice cream. Ice cream's love. Ice cream's life. But yeah, said brewery is actually in the process of moving. Because the thing is, they got sold. Then after they got sold, they couldn't stay in the place they were at, so they had to move. And supposedly they're still in that moving step. Now, I know they kept all the recipes from the sale, but I don't know if they kept the same brewmaster. That's kind of like the big if for that brewery. Which, that brewery, by the way, its name is Rock House, and it's a microbrewery in Lexington. And Rock House in Lexington was kind of known as the weird brewery. Like, they were the people who did weird stuff. That's a pour I can be happy about. That's a pour I can be happy about. That's also going to be my last beer for the night. Because it's getting late. It is getting late. But I gotta say, this is a solid dish. Is it my cup of tea? No, not really. Sorry, Dad's old chop. But I'm really happy with what I made. Happy with how it turned out. And you know what? If I end up in the position where I have to make a cobbler-like dish for someone, this is definitely something I would do. I gotta head out, Otsu. Okay, cool. Because I'm actually giving my closing remark, so. You have a good start to your week, Dad's Old Shop. And for the rest of you guys, I gotta say, not my cup of tea, but I like it. It's good. Turned out well. Definitely something I can eat. I'm looking forward to finishing this, so. as far as for trying a new recipe and expanding my wheelhouse a little bit, today was a good day. So, all that aside, I want to say thank you very much to everyone who has tuned in. And my name's Sugi Yamagawa, and hopefully I'll see you all on the next one. Okay, bye-bye.